There we go. How is everybody doing today? I'm doing well on this rainy day. Today I am going to be trying out Doki Doki Literature Club for the very first time. I have never. Well, I played before I even started streaming. I played like the very beginning of it for a minute or two, but not enough that I really know what's going on. I know about the club, and that's about it. So let me make sure. Okay. Right. This game is not suitable for children. Sorry, I had a burp. I didn't want to. This game is not suitable for children or those who are easily disturbed. Individuals suffering from anxiety or depression may not have a positive experience playing this game. Well, alright, that's it. End of stream. Playing a different game now. I got both. Would you like to review detailed content warnings, which may contain spoilers? Alternatively, in-game content warnings can be enabled in the settings menu at any time. Yes, I want. No, I don't want spoilers. By playing Doki Doki Literature Club, you agree that you have noted the game's age rating in your region. Yes. So I don't know what to expect. I know this is a horror game with a visual novel-esque-ness to it. Okay, I'm gonna wait one. Gotta check settings. I don't know why. Not many settings. Skip options. Nah, I'm not gonna do any skips. My name. Should I carry Mr. Dude over? Mr. Dude. Mr. Broken. I should have done that. Hey! I see an annoying girl running towards me from the distance, waving her arms in the air like she's totally oblivious to any attention she might draw to herself. That girl is Sayori, my neighbor and good friend since we were children. You know, the kind of friend you'd never see yourself making today, but it just kind of works out because we've known each other, or because you've known each other for so long. We used to, maybe. Maybe I had friends like that when I was younger? Probably not now. We used to walk to school together on days like this, but starting around high school, she would oversleep more and more frequently, and I would get tired of waiting up. Oh yeah, I'm the type to sleep in, or oversleep I should say. Just 5 more minutes, like on the snooze button, and then it's another 5 minutes, and then it's another 5 minutes, and then it's another 5 minutes, and then holy crap, I got 5 minutes to get ready! But if she's going to chase after me like this, I almost feel better off running away. However, I just sigh and idle in front of the crosswalk and let Sayori catch up to me. Ha! I overslept again, but I caught you this time. Maybe, but only because I decided to stop and wait for you. Yeah, you said that like you were thinking of ignoring me. Mr. Dude was. Mr. Dude was. That's mean, Mr. Dude. Well, if people stare at you for acting weird, then I don't want them to think we're a couple or something. Fine, fine. I'm curious, is there romance options in this? Well, it's a horror game, so for all I know, I don't live. But you did wait for me after all. This time it was out of pity. I guess you don't have it in you to be mean, even if you want to. Whatever you say, Sayori. We cross the street together and make our way to school. As we draw near, the streets become increasingly speckled with other students making their daily commute. By the way, Mr. Dude, have you decided on a club to join yet? Oh, excuse me. If I remember, at my high school, we actually had a Guitar Hero club and a Dance Dance Revolution club. Now that ages me. A club? I told you already. I'm really not interested in joining any clubs. I haven't been looking either. Yeah, I didn't join any clubs. I mean, unless chorus counts. I did chorus. Does that count as a club? That's not true. Oh, hold on. I forgot to, my best friend has been wanting me to play this, so I totally forgot to share the link with him. A few friends. Share. Let's see here. Boop. There you go. I wonder if there's like a way on Twitch to see your viewers, because I want to see if he is here. Maybe not on Chromebook, but alright, back into it. You told me you told me you would join. Oh my gosh, my brain was scrambled after doing that. You told me you would join a club this year. Did I? I'm sure it's possible that I did. In one of the many conversations where I dismissively go along with whatever she says. Hey, it's me and my wife. I'm just kidding. Oh gosh, she's gonna kill me if she watches this. Sayori likes to worry a little bit too much about me when I'm perfectly content getting by on the average while spending my free time on games and anime. Well, this is also Japan, I imagine. Things are a little different in Japan than over here. Uh-huh. I was talking about how I'm worried that you... Oh my gosh. My mouth goes faster than my brain. I was talking about how I'm worried that you won't learn how to socialize or have any skills before college. Your happiness is really important to me, you know? I actually really like the art style. The art style is really nice. And I know you're happy now, but I die at the thought of you becoming a NEET. The heck is a NEET? I feel like this is something I should know. Hold on. Google. What is a NEET? Not in education, employment, or training. Dang. Japan. Becoming a NEET in a few years because you're not used to the real world. You trust me, right? Don't make me keep worrying about you. Alright. I'll look at a few clubs if it makes you happy. No promises, though. Will you at least promise you'll try a little? Yeah, I guess I'll promise you that. Yay! Why do I let myself get lectured by such a carefree girl? More than that, I'm surprised I even let myself relent to her. I guess seeing her worry so much about me makes me want to ease her mind at least a little bit, even if she does exaggerate everything inside of her head. Gosh, I feel like those days in like middle school when the teacher calls on you to read the part of the story, and then like when you read in your head, it's like normal, but when you're trying to read out loud, you stumble upon like every other word. That's how I feel right now. The school day is as ordinary as ever, and it's over before I know it. After I pack up my things, I stare blankly at the wall, looking for an ounce of motivation. Dude, my guy. Me too. Clubs. Sayori wants me to check out some clubs. I guess I have no choice but to start with the anime club. Hello? Sayori? Sayori must have come in the classroom while I was spacing out. I look around and realize I'm the only one left in the classroom. I thought I'd catch you coming out of the classroom, but I saw you just sitting here and spacing out, so I came in. Honestly, you're even worse than me sometimes. I'm impressed. You don't need to wait up for me if it's gonna make you late for your own club. Well, I thought you needed some encouragement, so I thought, know what? Well, that you could come to my club. Sayori. Yeah? There's no way I'm going to your club. Meanie. Sayori is vice president of the literature club. Plus. Not that I was ever aware that she had any interest in literature. In fact, I'm 99% sure she only did it because she thought it would be fun to help start a new club. Since she was the first one to show interest after the one who proposed the club, she inherited the title vice president. That said, my interest in literature is guaranteed to be even less. Yeah, I'm going to the anime club. Come on, please! Why do you care so much anyway? Well, I kind of told the club yesterday I would bring in a new member. And Natsuki made cupcakes and everything. Don't make promises you can't keep. I can't tell if Sayori is really that much of an airhead, or if she's still cunning as to have planned all of this out. Fine, I'll stop by for a cupcake, alright? That's how they get you. You go in for the cupcake, you stay for the torture. I don't know if they actually do torture, I'm just guessing. Let's go back. Oh, it's funny how it does that one. Yay, let's go! And thus, today marks the day I sold my soul for a cupcake. Things I do for a convict, but I dejectedly follow Sayori across the school and upstairs, a section of the school I rarely visit. Sayori, full of energy, swings open the classroom door. Everyone! The new member is here! I told you, don't call me a new member. Huh? I glance around the room. Welcome to the Literature Club. It's a pleasure meeting you. Sayori's always saying nice things about you. Seriously? You brought a boy? Oh, Square just makes the text go away. Way to kill the atmosphere. Ah, Mr. Dude. What a nice surprise. Welcome to the club. All words escape me in this situation. This club is full of incredibly cute girls. What are you looking at? I don't think she's... If you want to say something, say it. Sorry. Natsuki. Why am I doing this in voices? The girl with the sour attitude, whose name is apparently Natsuki, is one I don't recognize. Her small figure makes her look like a first-year student. She's also the one who made the cupcakes, according to Sayori. You can just ignore her when she gets moody. Sayori says that quietly into my ear. You can just ignore her when she gets moody. Sayori says that quietly into my ear, then turns back to the other girls. Anyway, this is Natsuki, always full of energy. And this is Yuri, the smartest in the club. Don't say things like that. Yuri, who appears comparably more mature and timid, seems to have a hard time keeping up with people like Sayori and Natsuki. Well, it's nice to meet both of you. And it sounds like you already know Monica, is that right? That's right. It's great to see you again, Mr. Dude. Monica smiles sweetly. We do know each other. Well, we rarely talked, but we were in the same class last year. Monica was probably the most popular in class. Smart, beautiful, athletic. Basically, completely out of my league. Mr. Dude, I think all these girls are completely out of your league. I'm just saying. You seem to only care about animes and video games, and... me too. So having her smile at me, genuinely feels a little... you too, Monica. Come sit down, Mr. Dude. We made room for you at the table, so you can sit next to me or Monica. I'll get the cupcakes. Hey, I made them. I'll get them. Sorry, I got a little too excited. Then how about I make some tea as well? The girls have a few desks rearranged to form a table. As Sayori mentioned, I'm bopping to the music, by the way. As Sayori mentioned, it's been widened so that there is one space next to Monica and one space next to Sayori. Natsuki and Yuri walk over to the corner of the room, where Natsuki grabs a wrapped tray and Yuri opens the closet. Still feeling awkward, I take a seat next to Sayori. Natsuki proudly marches back to the table, tray in hand. Okay, are you ready? Ta-da! Whoa! Natsuki lifts the foil off the tray to reveal a dozen white, fluffy cupcakes decorated to look like little cats. Aw. I'd eat a cat cupcake. The whiskers are drawn with icing, and the little pieces of chocolate were used to make ears. So cute! I had no idea you were so good at baking, Natsuki. Well, you know. Just hurry and take one. Sayori grabs one first, then Monica. I follow. It's delicious! Sayori talks with her mouthful. Speaking of mouthful, Sayori talks with her mouthful and has already managed to get icing on her face. Dang, slow down there, Sayori. I turn the cupcake around in my fingers, looking at the best angle to take a bite. I always try to... What angle would that be? I always 45 degree it, like, ow. That way it's mostly icing in the first bite, but still just enough cake to round out the icing. And then yeah. Natsuki is quiet. I can't help but her sneaking glances in my direction. Oops. 1 second here. Oh! What? Oh, okay. Is she waiting for me to take a bite? I finally bite down. The icing is sweet and full of flavor. I wonder if she made it herself. This is really good. Thank you, Natsuki. Why are you thanking me? It's not like haven't I heard this somewhere before? Made them for you or anything. Haven't I heard this before? Is this a deja vu thing? I'm predicting a foreshadowing right there. I thought you technically did. Sayori said, well, maybe. But not for you, you know. You dummy. Alright. I give up on Natsuki's weird logic and dismiss the conversation. Yuri returns to the table, carrying a tea set. She carefully places a teacup in front of each of us before setting down the teapot next to the cupcake tray. You know, I've never had cupcakes with tea. I'm, like, fairly certain. You keep a whole tea set in this classroom? Don't worry, the teachers gave us permission. After all, doesn't a hot cup of tea help you enjoy a good book? I guess. Don't let yourself get intimidated. Yuri's just trying to impress you. That's not... Insulted, Yuri looks away. I meant that, you know... I believe you. Well, tea and reading might not be a pastime for me, but I at least enjoy tea. Dude, I love me a good glass of green tea. And I used to drink, both chamomile tea to help me sleep, and dandelion tea is pretty good too. I'm glad. Yuri faintly smiles to herself in relief. Monica raises an eyebrow, then smiles at me. So, what made you consider the literature club? I was afraid of this question. The cupcake! Something tells me I shouldn't tell Monica that I was practically dragged here by Sayori. Well, I haven't joined any clubs yet, and Sayori seemed really happy here, so... That's okay. Don't be embarrassed. We'll make you feel right at home, okay? As president of the literature club, it is my duty to make the fun club and exciting for everyone. Monica, I'm surprised. How come you decided to start your own club? You could probably be a board member for any of the major clubs. Weren't you a leader of the debate club last year? Well, you know. To be honest, I can't stand all the politics around the major clubs. It feels like nothing but arguing about the budget and publicity and how to prepare for events. I'd much rather take something I personally enjoy and make something special out of it. And if it encourages others to get into literature, then I'm fulfilling that dream. Monica is a really great leader. Yuri nods in agreement. Then I'm surprised there aren't more people in the club yet. It must be hard to start a new club. You could put it that way. Not many people are interested in putting out all the effort to start something brand new, especially when it's something that doesn't grab your attention, like literature. You have to work hard to convince people that you're both fun and worthwhile, but it makes school events like the festival that much more important. I'm confident that we can all really grow this club before we graduate. Right, everyone? Yeah! We'll do our best. You know it! Everyone enthusiastically agrees. I wonder what my character looks like. I mean, they all have, the school matching outfit, but I wonder what the boys' outfit looks like. Such different girls, all interested in the same goal. Monica must have worked really hard to find these three. I mean, they were in the same school. Maybe that's why they're all so delighted by the new idea of a member joining. Though I still don't really know if I can keep up with their level of enthusiasm about literature. I mean, he likes anime, not manga. I was gonna say, that's somewhat close. So, Mr. Dude, what kinds of things do you like to read? Well, considering how little I've read these past few years, I don't really have a good way of answering that. Manga. I muttered quietly to myself, half joking. Natsuki head suddenly perks up. It looks like she wants to say something, but she keeps quiet. Not much of a reader, I guess. Well, that can change. What am I saying? I spoke without thinking after seeing Yuri's sad smile. Anyway, what about you, Yuri? Well, let's see. Yuri traces the rim of her teacup with her fingers. My favorites are usually novels that build deep and complex fantasy worlds. The level of creativity and craftsmanship behind them is amazing to me. And telling a good story in such a foreign world is equally impressive. Yeah, types of books I read are, in a way, more fantasy-like. I also haven't read in a while, I'm just saying. Yuri goes on, clearly passionate about her reading. She seems so reserved and timid since the moment I walked in, but it's obvious by the way her eyes light up that she finds her comfort in the world of books. In the world of books, not people. But I like a lot of things. Stories with deep psychological elements usually immerse me as well. Which is what I'm predicting I'm getting out of this game. Excuse me. Isn't it amazing how a writer can so deliberately take advantage of your own lack of imagination to completely throw you for a loop? Anyway, I've been reading a lot about horror lately. I read a horror book once. I desperately grasped something I can relate to at the liminal level. At this rate, Yuri might as well be having a conversation with the rock. Really? I wouldn't have expected that, Yuri. For someone as gentle as you, I guess you can say that. But if a story makes me think, or takes me to another world, then I really can't put it down. Surreal horror is often very successful at changing the way you look at the world, if only for a brief moment. I hate horror! Huh? Why is that? Well, Natsuki's eyes dart over to me for a split second. What, am I horror? Never mind. That's right, you usually like to write about key things. Right? I thought we were talking about reading. Oh, I guess literature can be about writing. Don't you, Natsuki? What? What gives you that idea? You left a piece of scrap paper behind last club meeting. It looked like you were working on a poem called Don't Say It Out Loud! And give that back! Fine. Your cupcakes, your poems, everything you do is just as cute as you are. Sayori sidles up behind Natsuki and puts her hand on his shoulders. I'm not cute! Natsuki, you write your own poems? Well, I guess sometimes. Why do you care? I think that's impressive. Why don't you share them sometime? No! Natsuki averts her eyes. You wouldn't like them. Not a very confident writer, are you? I understand how Natsuki feels. Sharing that level of writing takes more than just confidence. I still don't know why I'm doing voices. The truest form of writing is writing to oneself. You must be willing to open up to your readers, exposing your vulnerabilities and showing even the deepest reaches of your heart. Do you have writing experience too, Yuri? How long has this club been going? I feel like this should be known. Maybe you can share some of your work. You can set an example and help Natsuki feel comfortable enough to share hers. I guess it's the same for Yuri. Aw, I wanted to read everyone's poems. We all sit in silence for a moment. Okay, I have an idea, everyone. Natsuki and Yuri look quizzically at Monika. Let's all go home and write a poem of our own. The next time we meet, we'll all share them with each other. That way, everyone is even. Yeah, let's do it! Plus, now that we have a new member, I think it can help all of us get a little more comfortable with each other and strengthen the bond of the club. Isn't that right, Mr. Dude? Monika smiles warmingly at me once again. Hold on. There's still one problem. Eh? What's that? Now that we're back at the original topic of me joining the club, I bluntly come forth with what's been on my mind the entire time. I never said I would join this club. Sayori may have convinced me to stop by, but I never made any decisions. I still have other clubs to look at, and, I lose my train of thought. All four girls stare back at me with dejected eyes. But, I'm sorry, I thought... Mr. Dude... You all... I'm defenseless against these girls. How am I supposed to make a clear-headed decision when it's like this? That is, if writing poems is the price I need to pay in order to spend every day with these beautiful girls? Right. Okay, I've decided then. I'm sure there's other girls in your school. You don't want to sell your soul. I'll join the literature club. One by one, the girl's eyes lights up. Yes! I'm so happy! Yes, you do. Sayori, have you ever played this game, Starall? This is my very first time. Well, I wouldn't say my very first. Okay, no. I did like the first, minute or two before, but I never got... Actually, this is the furthest I've ever been. So anyway, Sayori wraps her arms around me, jumping up and down. I know that this game is not what it seems. Okay, I don't know what happens, I just know it is not a visual novel. Well, I mean, it is, I guess, in a sense, a visual novel, but I think you know what I mean, I hope. But, hey, you really did scare me for a moment. If you really just came for the cupcakes, I would have been super pissed. Well, then that makes it official. Welcome to the Literature Club. Thanks, I guess. Okay, everyone. I think with that we can officially end today's meetings on a good note. Everyone remember tonight's assignment? Write a poem to bring to the next meeting so we can all share. Monika looks over at me once more. Mr. Dude, I look forward to seeing how you express yourself. Yeah. Can I really impress the class star Monika with my mediocre writing skills? I already have the anxiety welling up inside me. Meanwhile, the girls continue to chit-chat as Yuri and Natsuki clean up their food. Hey, Mr. Dude, since we're already here, do you want to walk home together? That's right, Sayori and I never walk home together anymore because she always stayed after school for clubs. Sure, might as well. Yay! With that, the two of us depart the club room and make our way home. The whole way, my mind wanders back and forth between the four girls. Sayori, Natsuki, Yuri, and of course, Monika. Will I really be happy spending every day after school in a literature club? Perhaps I'll have the chance to grow closer to one of these girls. See, I was thinking there might be romance options, but again, I know it's not what it seems, so... Alright, I'll just have to make one... Oh, what's free? This game's free? I'll just need to make the most of my circumstances, and I'm sure good fortune will find me. I'm playing this on a PS5 too, so I wonder how this is gonna be. Like, I know it messes with your PC stuff, like settings and whatnot. So I wonder how it plays on a PlayStation 5. That's cool that it's free on the PC version. This one was, I think I got it for $5, so it wasn't much. I'll just need to make the most of my circumstances. I'm sure good fortune will find me. Alright. Hey, I'm so glad you stopped by, bud. I might be doing Undertale next time I play. Oh, it's okay. I'm so glad you stopped by. But hey, I'll see you next time, okay? See ya. And I guess that starts with writing a poem tonight. Ooh, okay. It's time to write a poem. Pick words you think your favorite club member will like. Something good might happen with whoever likes your poem the most. Oh, there is... And I never saved. How do I go to save? Because I don't want to, like... Oh, there we go. Oh, it auto-saves. Okay, okay. Oh, wait. How do I go back to the game? Oh, return. Okay, so first word. Why would I use scars? Or after image? Oh, I'm not impressing Monica, I guess? Just those three? Disown. Oof. Hurt. Fluffy. Also just realized despise too. Fluffy. Oh. Fluffy. Word 2. Fluffy joy. Fluffy pleasure. Fluffy headphones. I like music. Fluffy headphones. How would that work? Bunny. I like bunnies. Dude, actually, I'm really digging the music in this game so far. Summer. Fluffy headphones, bunny, summer. Bubbles. Kawaii. Kawaii. Papa. Nibble on some... Oh, there's no food? Nibble on some massacre. Nibble on time. Oh, music, because I use headphones. Forgive? Forgive a waterfall. And breathe. Breathe some silly... For the music to loop. Breathe some silly... whistles. Nature has a nice aura and vibrant. Whoa! Just out of curiosity, because now I'm curious. Well, I mean, I just used climax. I might as well use romance. Parfaits are pretty good. And I'm clumsy, so I'm gonna go with clumsy. And last one. Treasure. Or happiness. Sweet. Oh, I just realized, I think they reacted to the words that I selected. Hi again, Mr. Dude. I think you'll find my poem to be immaculate. There's a little part where... Ignore the climax part. I only selected that word because I was just curious. But there's a lot of waterfalls, and I think I clicked on bunny once. Glad to see you didn't run away on us. Ha ha ha. Oh, and all this talking to them thirsty. Oops. Can everyone hear me now? I just realized I had my mic off still. Excuse me. Natsuki, you certainly have a big mouth for someone who keeps their manga collection in the club room. Natsuki, I don't know what that sound I just made was. Natsuki finds herself stuck between saying Monica and manga. Manga. Manga is literature! Swiftly defeated, Natsuki plops back into... Let's see here, I'm at half an hour. I don't know when she gets off work, so I'm not 100% sure, but I am striving for at least 2 to 2.5 hours. Swiftly defeated, Natsuki pops back into her seat. Maybe even 3 hours? What time is it? Well, yeah, probably. Somewhere between 2 to 3 hours. Don't worry, guys. Mr. Dude always gives his best as long as he's having fun. He helps me with busy work without me even asking. Dude, but it's so surreal playing this and trying to, like, say it out loud. I feel like I'm back in middle school reading, you know, when the teacher's like, oh yeah, yes, can you read this section of the book? But I'm reading the whole book. I keep doing voices even though I don't need to. He helps me with busy work even without me asking. Like cooking, cleaning my room. How dependable. Sayori, that's because your room is so messy it's distracting. Oh, you've been in her room. You almost set your house on fire once. So, you two are really good friends, aren't you? Hey, thank you, bud. No problem at all. I don't know when things start happening. I just knew they'd happen eventually. There was some weird stuff in the poem I just wrote, but I didn't select any of them. I might be a little jealous. How come? You and Mr. Dude can become good friends too. Sayori. What's wrong with becoming good friends? As usual, Sayori seems oblivious to the weird situation she just put me in. Oh! Yuri even brought you something today, you know? Wait, Sayori. Oh, that's how intense things get? Literally off the rails? Yeah, someone mentioned earlier they never played the game, but they know what happens. I don't know what happens. I just know, that it's horror. Wait, Sayori? Me? Oh wait, me? Not really. Don't be shy. It's really nothing. What is it? Never mind. Sayori made it sound like a big deal when it's really not. What do I do? I'm sorry, Yuri, I wasn't thinking. I guess that means it's up to me to rescue the situation. Hey, don't worry about it. First of all, I wasn't expecting anything in the first place. Oh gosh, okay. So any nice gesture from you is a pleasant surprise. It'll make me happy no matter what. Is that so? Yeah, I'm playing this on the PS5, and I was just thinking, because I guess it's free on PC. We just got a laptop. I could literally play this on the laptop, but I'm curious how it translates on the PS5. Yeah, I won't make a big deal if you don't want it to be. Alright, well, here. Yuri reaches into her bag and pulls out a book. I didn't want you to feel left out, so I picked a book I thought you might enjoy. It's a short read, so it should keep your attention. Hey, what are you trying to say? Even if you don't usually read. And we could, you know, discuss it if you wanted. This is... How is this girl accidentally being so cute? She even picked out a book she thinks I like, despite me not reading much. Yuri, thank you! I'll definitely read this. I enthusiastically take the book. Phew. Well, you can read it at your own pace. I look forward to hearing what you think. Now that everyone's settled in, I expected Monica to kick off some scheduled activities for the club, but that doesn't seem to be the case. Sayuri and Monica are having a cheery conversation in the corner. Yuri's face is already buried in a book. I can't help but notice her intense expression, like she was waiting for this chance. Meanwhile, Natsuki is rummaging around in the closet. Ugh! I hear Natsuki utter an exasperated sigh from within the closet. She seems to be annoyed by something. I approach her in case she needs a hand. You looking for something in there? Freaking Monica! She never puts my stuff back in the right spot! What's the point of keeping your collection organized if someone else is just gonna mess it up? I don't know why with her, but I try to read fast so that I can keep up. Natsuki slides a bunch of stacked books and boxes across the shelf. Manga. You read manga, right? Ah, sometimes. Manga is one of those things where you can't admit you're really into until you figure out where the other person stands. Is that true? How did you know anyway? I heard you bring it up at some point. Besides, it's kind of written on your face. What's that supposed to mean? I see. There's a lone volume of manga amidst a stack of various books on the side of one of the shelves. Curious, I pull it off the stack. There it is! Natsuki snatches it out of my hand. She then turns to a box of manga and slips the volume right into the middle of the rest. Ah, much better! Seeing a box set with one book missing is probably the most irritating sight in the world. I know that feel. I get a closer... Oh, it was probably Mr. Do This that I know how you feel. I get a closer look at the box she's admiring. Parfait Girls? Oh, hey, I chose Parfait as one of the words. It's a series I've never heard of in my life. That probably means it's either way out of my demographic or it's simply terrible. If you're going to judge, you can do it through the glass on that door. She points to the classroom door. Hey, I wasn't judging or anything. I didn't even say anything. It was the tone of your voice. But I'll tell you one thing, Mr. Dude. Consider this a lesson straight from the literature club. Don't judge a book by its cover. In fact, Natsuki pulls out the first volume of Parfait Girls from the box. I'm going to show you exactly why. She shoves the book right into my hands. I stare at the cover. It features 4 girls in colorful attire. 4 girls? And because there's 4 girls here. And there's 4 girls in the book. Manga, sorry. It features 4 girls in colorful attire striking animated feminine poses. Seems kind of... It's exceedingly... Moe? I'm assuming that's Moe, but... What the heck is Moe? I watch anime, I swear. Moe. A Japanese word that refers to feelings of strong affection, mainly towards towards characters in anime, manga, video games, and other media. Okay, now I know. It's exceedingly moe. Don't just stand there. What? Natsuki grabs my arm and pulls me out of the closet. She then takes a seat against the wall beneath the windowsills. She pats on the ground next to her, signaling me to sit there. Wouldn't chairs be more comfortable? I take my seat. Chairs wouldn't work. We can't read at the same time like that. Eh? Why is that? I guess it's easier to be close together like this. Don't just say that. You'll make me feel weird about it. Natsuki crosses her arms and scooches an inch away from me. Sorry. I didn't exactly expect to be sitting this close to her either. Not that I can say it's a particularly bad thing. I open the book. It's only a few seconds before Natsuki once again inches closer, reclaiming the additional space while she hopes I wouldn't notice. I can feel her peering over my shoulder, much more eager to begin reading than I am. Wow, how long has it been since I read from the beginning? You don't go back and flip through the older volumes every now and then? Not really. Maybe sometimes after I've already finished the series. Hey, are you paying attention? I am, but nothing's really happened yet, so I can talk at the same time. It looks like it's about a bunch of friends in high school. Typically slice of life affair. I kind of grew out of these, since it's rare for the writing to be entertaining enough to make up for the lack of plot. So, what should I expect from this? Is there going to be a plot? Well, obviously. You think I would enjoy something that didn't have a plot? I mean, well, I guess I know what you're saying. A lot of the beginning is about simple things. Like, there's a really funny chapter where they're obsessed with the guy at the ice cream shop. But that just helps you get to know the characters. Besides, it's still entertaining. But later on, there's all kinds of drama. Like, when they get into their backstories, and when some of the romance starts to happen, that's really what makes it so good. There are so many touching parts. Oh, is that so? It sounds like you really know what you're talking about. Maybe I underestimated you. What the heck was that? Hey, wait! What's that supposed to mean? Natsuki gives me a little shove. I just meant you haven't seen you at your full power. Or that I haven't seen you at your full power. Good save. Oh my gosh, I keep going back and forth with character. And why am I even doing voices? This chapter seems like it's about baking. I can read. I graduated high school. This is just a guess, but is there a lot of baking in this manga? Well, Natsuki pauses for a moment, as if she doesn't want to admit something. Yeah. Why does that matter? It doesn't. I was just curious. Since you enjoy baking too, right? That's just a coincidence. It just so happened I got into baking around the same time I got this manga. Like, I would ever get into anything because it's in a manga. I feel bad for anyone that's impressionable. Definitely not a coincidence. I guess that explains Natsuki's interest in baking. Still, of all the hobbies to pick up from a manga, that's definitely one of the better ones. Not to mention, she's really good at it. So who am I to judge? I thought we were in chairs. We read for a few more minutes. I've finished a couple chapters at this point. Are you sure this isn't boring for you? It's not! Even though you're just watching me read? Well, I'm fine with that. If you say so. I guess it's fun sharing something you like with someone else. Me too. Like, I think it took until Dark Souls 3. Like, I was really into the Dark Souls games. And I think it took until 3 that my wife started watching me. And then she started getting interested in it because I was really into it. And she thought I was bored watching her play. Even though I was like, dude, no, I'm having a great time watching you play. Like, I'm enjoying this. Plus, I was enjoying her getting her butt kicked all the time. Yeah. I always get excited when I convince any of my friends to pick up a series I enjoy. You know what I mean? You don't? That's not... Well, I wouldn't really know. What do you mean? Don't you share your manga with your friends? Could you not rub it in? Jeez. Sorry. The key word here, I think, is friends. Like I could ever get my friends to read this. They just think manga's for kids. I can't even bring it up without them being all like, you still haven't grown out of that yet? I still like Pokemon, Mom! Back to this. Yeah, a little story, I guess. When I was a teenager, I wanted Pokemon, I can't remember if it was Leaf Green or Fire Red, but I had my mom take me to GameStop to get it. And then, she was, like, during the whole purchase, she was like, aren't you a little too old for this? Shouldn't you be done with Pokemon? And I was just like, I was so embarrassed to bring it home. And I felt bad playing it. And I was like, I still like Pokemon, Mom. Mom, if you ever watch this, and I guarantee you're not, I still love you. Makes me want to punch them in the face. Ugh, I know those kinds of people. Honestly, it takes a lot of effort to find friends who don't judge, much less friends who are also into it. I'm already kind of a loser, so I guess I gravitated toward the other losers over time. But it's probably harder for someone like you. Huh? Yeah, that's pretty accurate. Wait, which part? I was just talking out of my butt. I mean, I feel like I can't even keep it up. I feel like I can't even keep it in my own room. I don't even know why my dad would do if he found this. Speaking of parents, at least it's safe here in the club room. Except Monica was kind of a jerk about it. I just can't win, can I? Well, it paid off in the end, didn't it? I mean, here I am, reading it. Well, it's not like that solves any of my problems. Maybe. But at least you're enjoying yourself, right? So? Geez, that's enough! Are you gonna keep reading or what? Yeah. I flip the page. Suddenly, Natsuki starts laughing. I totally forgot that happens. Natsuki puts her finger on one of the panels. Minori is one of my favorite characters. Is my favorite character. You always feel a little bad for her since she's so unlucky. But it gets especially bad when, spoiler alert. Just finish this chapter. Natsuki's voice sparkles with excitement. It's a stark contrast to her usual bossy tone. But if she's not used to sharing her favorite manga with her friends, I can understand why. It's hard to express in words the feeling you get when connecting with someone like that. And being able to provide that for Natsuki, for whom it's a rare experience, the thought just makes me smile a little to myself. Okay, everyone! Huh? Are you all ready for today's poems? Oh, come on! Could your timing be any worse? Sorry. I just need to make sure we have enough time. Though you do look pretty cozy over there. Natsuki suddenly notices how close she's gotten to me. She hastily slides herself a good 12 inches away from me. Alright, guess I'll stop here for now. I close the book and hand it towards Natsuki. You're giving it back? Don't you want to know what happens? Yeah, but Monica just said, "Don't be dumb! Just take it home with you!" Huh? Is that really alright? I say that mostly because I really didn't plan on using my spare time to read this. Well, of course. It would take forever if you didn't, it would take you forever to finish if you didn't take it home. Just finish that one before tomorrow, so we can start the next one. And if it gets spent, I'll kill you! By tomorrow? I only got part way through the volume so far. I might fall behind on some shows if I try to get through this. But I suppose that's a necessary sacrifice in exchange for seeing Natsuki's enthusiastic face. Or am I more scared of what will happen if I don't finish it? Alright then. I stand up. I return to where I put my stuff and carefully slip the book into my bag. By the way, did you remember to write a poem last night? No! I didn't forget. I don't know why I was so enthusiastic about that. Yeah. My relaxation ends. I can't believe I agreed to do something so embarrassing. I couldn't really find much inspiration, since I've never done this before. Well, now everyone's ready. Why don't you find someone to share with? I can't wait! Sayori and Monica enthusiastically pulls out their poems. Sayori's is on a wrinkled sheet of loose leaf torn from a spiral notebook. On the other hand, Monica wrote hers in a composition notebook. I can already see Monica's pristine handwriting from where I sit. Natsuki and Yuri reluctantly comply as well, reaching into their bags. I do the same myself. So, I'm assuming... Oh, shoot. I can't even remember all the words I picked. I remember waterfall. That one's like right in my face. I mean, I said fluffy and then I said bunny. Natsuki might like that. Some like Sayori. Waterfall. I did use romance. But I don't... What would Yuri be more into? I wouldn't say the stuff I chose. Music. Which one do I think would like music more? I did a lot of music. Yuri might like music a lot. You know what? Yuri is very uncomfortable with this. My character, Mr. Dude, is very uncomfortable with this. Let's, Yuri. Yuri seems the most experienced, so I should start with her. I can trust your opinion to be fair. Y'all have a quick water break, because, speaking all the time is making me thirsty. If I can find the mute button. Was I muted the whole time? Uh-oh. That's embarrassing. Alright, hold on, give me a second. I may or may have not been muted the whole time, and I hope not. Because I'm making myself thirsty doing all this talking over here. Yuri stares at the poem. A minute passes, more than enough time for her to finish reading. Oh, sorry. I forgot to start speaking. Me too. It's fine, don't force yourself. I'm not. I just need to put my thoughts into words. Hold on. Okay? This is your first time writing a poem, right? Yeah? Why do you ask? I'm just making sure. I guess that it might be after reading through it. So it's that bad? No! Did I just raise my voice? I'm so sorry. Yuri, oh my gosh. Yuri buries her face into her hands. Yuri buries. I couldn't help but notice that it's been several minutes and we haven't really gotten anywhere. Maybe choosing Yuri was a bad choice. It might take Yuri a while to get used to new people. It's fine. I really didn't notice. What were you saying? Right. It's just that there are specific writing habits that are usually typical of new writers, and having been through that myself, I kind of learned to pick up on them. I think the most noticeable thing I recognize in new writers is that they try to make their style very deliberate. In other words, they tend to pick a writing style separate from the topic matter. Oh, I didn't finish reading that, and I pressed X. The end result is that both the style and the expressiveness are weakened. Once Yuri finds her train of thought, it's as if her demeanor totally changes. Her stammering is completely gone, and she sounds like an expert. But of course, that's not something you can be blamed for. There are so many different skills and techniques that go into writing, even a simple poem. Not just finding them and building them, but getting them to work together is probably the most challenging part. It might take you some time, but it all comes with practice, and learning by example, and trying new things. I also hope that everyone else in this club gives you valuable feedback. Natsuki can be a little biased, though. Biased? How? Well, never mind. I shouldn't be talking about people like that. Sorry. It's fine. I'm not sure if Yuri is apologizing to herself, to me, or to Natsuki. That's all three? Maybe all three. Do you mind if I read your poem now? Please do. I'd love to share my thought process behind it. Yuri smiles dreamingly as if that's a rare opportunity for her. Which itself is kind of funny. After all, isn't this supposed to be a literature club? Oh, maybe she is the one that likes the creepy stuff. Too much noise. Ghost under the light. The tendrils of my hair illuminate beneath the amber glow. Bathing. It must be this one. The last remaining streetlight to have withstood the test of time. The last yet to be replaced by the sickening blue-green hue of the future. I bathe, calm, breathing air of the present but living in the past. The light flickers. I flicker back. I'm sorry to have such terrible handwriting. What? I wasn't thinking that at all. But it took you a long time to read. Did it? Well, I just don't read script very often. I actually think your handwriting is pretty. Eh? Did it really time how long it took me to read that? Do. Oh, the music, the Emerald Hill Zone from Sonic the Hedgehog 2. That's what that reminds me of. No, wait. This is Sonic's song. Whatever. That's a relief. Also, I liked the poem. Even though it was short, it was really descriptive. It wasn't too short. I usually write longer poems. Not at all. I'm really glad you like it. I'll be honest. Since it's our first time sharing, I wanted to write something a little more mild. Something easy to digest, I suppose. Are you into ghosts, Yuri? Wait. Actually, the story isn't about a ghost at all, Mr. Dude. Really? I must have totally missed the point. Well, I suppose you did only glance over it after all. But remember that poets often express their own thoughts, feelings, and experiences in their work. They usually do more than tell a simple story, or paint a picture. Or in this case, perhaps the subject of the poem is only symbolically compared to a ghost. Lingering in her last remaining place of comfort, unable to let go of the past, and soon to be left with nothing. That's a lot more solemn way, that's a lot more solemn putting it that way. I haven't even thought of that. That's impressive. It's nothing really. Well, it makes me happy that you think that. Just remember that it won't be long before you pick up on. Just remember that it won't be long before you pick up on these things too. Yeah, maybe you're right. I guess I'll have to keep trying. I'm counting on you. Who should I show my poem to next? Well, I'm showing it to all four of them. You're on the top of the list, Sayori. It's gonna bug me once I realize what Sonic song this. I just got a text. Give me a second. This is a good. Shoot, what voice did I use for her? This is a good poem, Mr. Dude. Are you sure it's your first time? Of course. It's not that good. Am I the kind of guy to be writing poems in his spare time? I guess you're right. But that's why it impressed me. Well, to be honest, I was afraid you wouldn't do it seriously. Or that you wouldn't write one at all. I did choose some things I think she would have liked, I guess. She like waterfall in nature because that shows a lot of waterfall in nature. I think Natsuki might really like the poem too because Fluffy and Bunnies was chosen. And Parfait. I'm really happy you just wrote one. Kind of reminds me how you're really part of the club now. Not to mention the fact that I'm standing in front of you in the club room. Well, of course, I'm not really into it yet, but it doesn't mean I'll break my promise. See? It's like I said before, Mr. Dude. Deep down, you're not selfish at all, you know? Trying new things like this for other people is something that only really good people do. Thanks, Sayori. I'm not sure if Sayori sees the full picture of my motive here. Then again, I can't deny that she's part of the reason I joined. Knowing how much this means to her and all. Oh crap. Okay. Wife is calling. I will be right back. Alright, I am back for now. I'll have to go away in like 5 minutes, just for a minute, but shouldn't be as long as that time. I didn't expect to be gone that long. Thank you for waiting. Yeah. And I'm gonna make sure you have lots of fun in here, okay? That would be my way of thanking you. Alright, I'm gonna hold you to that then. Yay! Now you'll read my poem too, right? Don't worry, I'm really bad at this. We'll see about that. Dear Sunshine, I like how the scroll bar. Dear Sunshine, the way you glow through my blinds in the morning, it makes me feel like you missed me. Kissing my forehead to help me out of bed, making me rub the sleepy from my eyes. Are you asking me to come out and play? Are you trusting me to wish away a rainy day? I look above, the sky is blue. It's a secret, but I trust you too. If it wasn't for you, I could sleep forever. But I'm not mad. I want breakfast. I've always wanted to finish a poem with I want breakfast. Did you wait until this morning to write this? No! Just a little bit. You can't answer just a little bit to a yes or no question. I forgot to do it last night. Well, at least that makes me feel a little bit better about myself. Oh, that makes me feel a little bit better about myself, trying to do you. Ooh. Don't be mean! I still tried my best. Yeah. I didn't mean to say it was a bad poem. It came out nice, or how should I put it? It sounds just like you. Really? Yeah. Especially that last line. I made eggs and toast! Even though you were late to school? It's bad to skip breakfast. I get all cranky. Well, there's no point in arguing. Anyway, thanks for showing me. This was so much fun. Monica's the best. Yeah. But next time, I won't forget. And I'm gonna write the best poem ever. Well, I guess I look forward to it. Well, I said fluffy bunnies and a bunch of happy stuff, so... Okay, well, let's start with the things I don't like. First of all, she rereads my poem. Never mind, I don't feel like giving you my opinion. What's the point of sharing in the first place? I wrote this when I could have been doing other things. In fact, remember how I said I wanted to read your poems? That's what I said when I had in mind when writing this. I wanted to help you feel comfortable enough to share yours, like Monica said. Well, I would be more comfortable sharing my poem if yours was really bad. You were supposed to show me some dumb poem and make me go, ha, well, it's not that great to let me show you how, what real literature looks like. See, for her, I'm trying to read fast, because it feels in character, but I don't even need to do voices. And you went and ruined it. I hope you're happy. So, in other words, you're saying you liked it? Natsuki's retort gets caught in her throat. Ooh, you don't understand anything, do you? I already told you that, and you don't have to go announcing it to the world like you're all self-important. How did I do that without screwing up? Pretty sure you never actually said that. I say that mostly to myself. Natsuki must really hate me or something. I can't figure out if it's a win or loss that she likes my poem. In any case, you still need to show me yours, right? Fine, I guess. Only because Monica will make me if I don't. The frick is this? Eagles can fly. Monkeys can climb. Crickets can leap. Horses can race. Owls can seek. Cheetahs can run. Eagles can fly. People can try, but that's about it. Yeah, I can't fly. I mean, I can run. I mean, I can see. I could race. I'm good at it. Okay, never mind. I told you weren't gonna like it. I like it. What? Just be honest. I am. Why are you so convinced that I wouldn't like it? Well, because everyone in high school thinks that writing has to be all sophisticated and stuff. So people don't even take my writing seriously. But isn't the point of poems for people to express themselves? Your writing style wouldn't make your message any less valid. Yes, exactly! I like when it's easy to read, but it hits you hard. Like in this poem, seeing everyone around you. I'm starting to see where some psychologicalness is. There's little hidden roots. But again, I'm at the very beginning of the game. I've been playing for an hour and 20 minutes. So I decided to write about it. Yeah, I understand. But the other thing about, oh my gosh, my brain can't go this fast. But the other nice thing about simple writing is that it puts more weight on the wordplay. Like, I set up for a rhyme at the end, but then it falls flat on purpose. It helps bring out the feeling in the last line. So you did. I guess more went into it than I realized. That's what it means to be a pro. Ching! I'm glad you learned something. Didn't expect that from the youngest one here, did you? Yeah, guess not. I decided to humor her with that last comment. I don't really care how old everyone is. I just kind of assumed everyone was the same age, but if Natsuki's feeling proud, then I won't take that away from her. I guess Monica. Hi, Mr. Dude. Having a good time so far? Yeah. Good, glad to hear it. By the way, since you're new and everything, if you ever have any suggestions for the club, like new activities or things we can do better, I'm always listening. Don't be afraid to bring things up, okay? Alright, I'll keep that in mind. Of course, I'll be afraid to bring things up. Oh my gosh, me too, I would. I'm much better off just going with the flow until I'm more settled in. Anyway, want to share your poem with me? It's kind of embarrassing, but I guess I have to. Don't worry, Mr. Dude. We're all a little embarrassed today, you know? But it's that kind of barrier that we'll all learn to get past soon. Yeah, that's true. I hand Monica my poem. I like it, Mr. Dude. Really? It's a lot cuter than I expected. Oh, jeez. No. It kind of makes me think of something Natsuki would write. I did choose a lot of cute things. Dude, they had me on music and nature and fluffy bunnies. And she's a good writer too, so take that as a compliment. If you say so. Yep. There's a lot of poems or stories out there there are lots of poems or stories out there that are no more than a few simple words. They can be funny, endearing, or even sad. And sometimes they're only a few lines long. They might even feel like they're written for kids. But if you think about them, they can express views of a world that would only apply to anybody. I see. So you're saying that Natsuki is kind of like that? I wasn't trying to go too into the fluffy bunnies. Maybe she's not an expert, but you probably won't find much filler in her poems. They might be easy to write, but they're super challenging to get the meaning, though. So I can see why it would be your kind of poem to explore. Hey, for my first poem. I purposely stayed away from the despise and the depression and the suicide. Can I even say that on Twitch? I don't even know if I can say that on Twitch. Mr. Twitch, can you censor that last word that I said? I'm sure I'll end up trying different things a lot. It could take a while before I feel comfortable doing this. That's okay. I'd love to see you try new things. That's the best way to find the kind of style that suits you. Everyone else might be a little bit biased towards their own kind of styles, but I always help you find what suits you the most. So don't force yourself to write the way everyone else wants you to write. It's not like you have to worry about impressing them or anything. In real life, I've written poems. And I've written some depressing stuff, so maybe next time, stay a little away from the fluffy bunnies. But I will keep choosing the headphones and the music. Anyway, do you want to read my poem now? Don't worry, I'm not very good. You sound pretty confident for someone that claims to not be very good. Well, that's because I have to sound confident. That doesn't always mean I always feel that way. Excuse me. I see. Well, let's read it then. Oh, actually, give me 1 second before I do read it. I'll be right back. I gotta start dinner. Hole in a wall. Shoot. Okay. Hole in wall. It couldn't have been me. See? The direction the sparkle protrudes? A noisy neighbor? An angry boyfriend? I'll never know. I wasn't home. I peer inside for a clue. No, I can't see. I reel, blind, like a film left out in the sun. But it's too late. My retina's already scorched with a permanent copy of the meaningless image. It's just a little hole. It wasn't too bright. It was too deep, stretching forever into everything. A hole of infinite choices. I realize now that I wasn't looking in. I was looking out. And he, on the other side, was looking in. Thank you for waiting again. So, what do you think? It's very free form, if that's what you call it. Sorry, I'm not really the right person to ask for feedback. Aha! It's okay. Yeah, that kind of style has gotten pretty popular nowadays. That is, a lot of poems have been putting emphasis on the timing between words and lines. When performed out loud, it can be real powerful. What was the inspiration behind this one? Well, I'm not sure if I know how to put it. I guess you could say that I had some kind of epiphany recently. It's been influencing my poems a bit. An epiphany? Yeah, something like that. I'm kind of nervous to talk about deep stuff like that because it's kind of coming on strongly. Maybe after everyone is better friends with each other? Anyway, here's Monica's writing tip of the day. Sometimes when you're writing a poem or a story, your brain gets too fixated on a specific point. If you try so hard to make it perfect, then you'll never make any progress. Just force yourself to get something down on the paper and tidy it up later. That reminds me of a time I had writer's block and I was writing a horror story and I just could not progress at all. It was like, I got point A and point 2, or point A and point B, and point D, which is the end. Always end on the D, but I couldn't get point C. Anyway, another way to think about it is this. If you keep your pen in the same spot for too long, you'll just get a big dark puddle of ink. So just move your hand and go with the flow. That's my advice for today. Thanks for listening. Phew. I guess that's everyone. I glanced around the room. That was a little more stressful than I anticipated. It's as if everyone is judging me for my mediocre writing abilities. Even if they're just being nice, there's no way my poems can stand up to theirs. This is a literature club after all. I suck. I guess that's what I ended up getting myself into. Across the room, Sayori and Monica were happily chatting. My eyes landed on Yuri and Natsuki. They gingerly exchanged sheets of paper, sharing their respective poems. As they read in tandem, I watch each of their expressions change. Natsuki's eyebrows furrow in frustration. Meanwhile, Yuri smiles sadly. What's with this language? Eh? Did you say something? Oh, it's nothing. Natsuki dismissively returns the poem to the desk with one hand. I guess you could say it's fancy. Thanks. Yours is cute. Cute! Did you completely miss the symbolism or something? It's clearly about the feeling of giving up. How can that be cute? I know that. I just meant the language, I guess. I was trying to say something nice. Eh? You mean you have to try that hard to come up with something nice to say? Thanks. But it really didn't come out nice at all. Well, I do have a couple suggestions. If I was looking for suggestions, I would have asked someone who actually liked it. Maybe people did, by the way. Sayori liked it, and Mr. Dude did too. So based on that, I'll gladly give you some suggestions of my own. First of all, excuse me. I appreciate the offer, but I've spent a long time establishing my writing style. I don't expect it to change anytime soon. Unless, of course, I come across something particularly inspiring, which I haven't yet. And Mr. Dude liked my poems too, you know. He even told me he was impressed by it. Natsuki suddenly stands up. Oh! I didn't realize you were so invested in trying to impress our new member, Yuri. That's not what I... You're just... Yuri stands up as well. Maybe you're just jealous that Mr. Dude appreciates my advice more than he appreciated yours. Huh? And how do you know he didn't appreciate my advice more? Rip headphone users, by the way. Are you that full of yourself? No. If I was full of myself, I would deliberately go out of my way to make everything I do overly cutesy. Ugh. Hold on 1 second, chat. Is everyone okay? Well, you know what? I wasn't the one whose boob magically grew a size bigger as soon as Mr. Wait, what? Natsuki! Natsuki, that's a little... This doesn't involve you! I don't like fighting, guys! Suddenly, both girls turned towards me, as if they just noticed I was standing there. Mr. Dude? She's just trying to make me look bad. That's not true. She started it. If she could get over herself and learn to appreciate the simple writing is more effective, then this wouldn't have happened in the first place. What's the point of making your poems all convoluted for no reason? The meaning could just jump out to the reader, not force them to have to figure it out. Help me explain it to her, Mr. Dude. Wait. There's a reason we have so many deep and expressive words in our language. It's the only way to convey complex feelings and meaning the most effectively. Avoiding them is not only unnecessarily limiting yourself, it's also waste. You understand me, right, Mr. Dude? Wait, I gotta pick? Don't make me pick. Don't make me pick. How did I get dragged into this in the first place? It's not like I know anything about writing, but, whomever I agree with, they'll probably think more highly of me. I don't want to pick. I mean, like I said, I used to write poems, and I used to make them pretty dang deep. I never wrote simple poems. Help me, Sayori! Natsuki! Natsuki glares at me, drying up any words I had in my mouth. So instead I turned to Yuri. Yuri! But Yuri's expression is so defensive that I can't bring myself to say anything to her. Sayori! Eh? Yeah. Everyone's fighting is making Sayori uncomfortable. How can the two of you keep fighting when you know you're making your friend feel like this? Mr. Dude. Well, that's her problem. This isn't about her. I agree. It's unfair for others to interject their own feelings into our conflict. Yeah, well, you inflicted it on me. Yeah. Oh, wait. Yeah, unless Sayori wants to tell Yuri what a stuck-up jerk she's being. She would never. It's your immaturity that's made her upset in the first place. Excuse me? Are you listening to yourself? This is exactly why nobody likes... Stop! Natsuki, Yuri. Again, I don't know why I'm doing voices, but this is the journey I took. You guys are my friends. I just want everyone to get along and be happy. My friends are wonderful people. And I love them because of their differences. Natsuki's poems, they're amazing because they give you so many feelings with just a few words. And Yuri's poems are amazing because they paint beautiful pictures in your head. Everyone's so talented. So why are we fighting? Because, well... Also, Natsuki's cute, and there's nothing wrong with that. And Yuri's are the same as they always were. Big and beautiful. Sayori stands triumphantly. Monica stands behind her with a bewildered expression. I'll make some tea. Yuri rushes off. Natsuki sits down with a blank expression on her face, staring at nothing. So this is why Sayori is vice president? So is this why Sayori is vice president? She nods in return. To be honest, I might come off as a good leader. I can organize things. But I'm not very good with people. I couldn't even bring myself to interject. As president, that's kind of embarrassing of me. Nah, it's not like I could blame you. I wasn't able to say anything either. Well, I guess that just means Sayori is amazing in her own ways, isn't she? You could say that. She might be an airhead. Sometimes it's weirdly suspicious that she knows exactly what she's doing. I see. Take good care of her, okay? I would hate to see her get herself hurt. That makes two of us. You can count on me. Monica smiles sweetly at me, causing my stomach to churn. Such a genuine person really does make a good president, regardless of what she says. If only I could get the chance to talk to her a little more. Okay, everyone. It's just about time for us to leave. How did you all feel about sharing poems? It was a lot of fun. Well, I'd say it was worth it. It was alright. Well, mostly. Mr. Dude, how about you? Yeah, I'd say the same. It was a neat thing to talk about with everyone. Awesome! In that case, we'll do the same thing tomorrow. Tomorrow? I gotta do another poem? And maybe you learned something from your friends, too. Well, I learned more about Yuri. She definitely likes the darker stuff. Less music, less fluffy bunny, more... I don't know. So your poems will turn out even better. I think to myself, I did learn a little more about the kinds of poems everyone likes. With any luck, that means I can at least do a better job impressing those I want to impress. I nod to myself with newfound determination. Mr. Dude! Ready to walk home? Sure, let's go. Sayori beams at me. It truly has been a while since Sayori and I have spent this much time together. I can't really say I'm not enjoying it either. Sayori. About what happened earlier. What do you mean? You know, between Yuri and Natsuki? Does that kind of thing happen often? No. That's really the first time I've seen them fight like that. I promise they're both wonderful people. You don't hate them, do you? No, I don't hate them. I just wanted your opinion, that's all. I can see why they'd make good friends with you. Phew. You know, Mr. Dude, it's nice that I get to spend time with you in the club, but I think seeing you get along with everyone is what's making me the happiest. And I think everyone likes you too. That's... Every day is gonna be so much fun! It looks like Sayori still hasn't caught on to this kind of situation I'm in. Sure, being friends with everyone is nice, but does it really need to stop there? Okay. We'll just have to see what the future holds, Sayori. I pat Sayori on the shoulder. I said that more to myself than her. I said that more to myself than to her, but it's easy to use Sayori as an internal monologue sometimes. Gosh, I read. Okay! Yeah, let's do this. Poem time? Okay. Okay. Poem should start off... Should poem start off with comfort, extreme, or start off with some excitement? I do like vanilla. Start off extreme! extreme, extreme pleasure. That's not the route I was thinking. Extreme pleasure. And I mean, I could keep going down this rabbit hole. Extreme pleasure climax. But there's hope at the end of extreme pleasure. And the hope is that there's games. And those kind of games are an adventure. Bed? Or the game's loud. Those games are adventure. And those adventure games have a lot of ambient music. And it takes place in a valley of lollipops. And and flower lollipops. And it's also raining. There's also raindrops and I mean, we're in bliss. But we have a puppy. And I wish I saw Kitty. And the puppy gives us kisses. The puppy likes to give us a lot of kisses. And after the lollipop flowered field, there's a graveyard. And the graveyard has us feeling a lot of anxiety. And it's kind of beautiful. And I mean, I have hair. I think we all have hair. Oh, and then we get lucky. Bang. And then we get lucky, and then suddenly we got so lucky that music came out of nowhere. And the music was coming from a playground. And the playground had chocolate. And then we died. Wait, why did she like death? Whoa, wait, what? Why was she the one that liked death? That should have been Yuri, I thought. I did say I'd make it at least 2 hours. So I'll play for at least another 10 minutes. Another day passes, and it's time for a club meeting already. I've gotten a little more comfortable here over the past couple days. Entering the club room, this usual scene greets me. Hi, Mr. Dude! Yo, Sayori. Looks like you're in a good mood today. I'm just still not used to being in the club, that's all. I see. That's a pretty simple thing for you to get you in a good mood. But I guess it's always the simple things with you anyway. Speaking of which, I'm kinda hungry. Me too, Sayori. Me too. Will you come with me to buy a snack? No thanks. Eh? That's not like you at all. I have my reasons. I'm on a diet. I don't want to go buy a snack. I'm on a diet. Why don't we take a look at your purse, Sayori? Eh? Why is that all of a sudden? No reason really. I just wanted to look at it. I will. Oh, coin purse. Okay. I was gonna say, you never go through a woman's purse. Sorry, I'm grabbing a fry. Sayori nervously retrieves her coin purse. She fumbles with the latch and gets it open. Then she turns it upside down and lets its contents spill onto the desk. Only 2 small coins fall out. I knew it. I can see right through you, Sayori. That's not fair. How did you even know? It's simple. If you had enough money in the first place, you would have bought a snack before coming to the club. So either you're not hungry and wanted an excuse to take a walk, or you plan to conveniently forget that you spent all your money so that I would lend you some. There's one more thing. You're always hungry, and so that only leaves the one option. Wah! I give up. Don't make me feel guilty. If you feel guilty, that means you deserve to feel guilty. Yuri suddenly giggles. Huh? I didn't notice she was also listening in. Her face is in her book as always. I wasn't listening or anything. I was just something in my book. Yuri, tell Mr. Dude to let me borrow some money. Don't get me involved like that, Sayori. Besides, you should only buy what you can responsibly afford. And frankly, after putting a mischievous little something like that, your suffering is fair enough retribution. I didn't mean that. I got too absorbed into my book. I really like when you speak your mind, Yuri. It doesn't happen much, but it's a fun side of you. There's no way you could think that. You were right, though. I did something bad, and now I have to accept the revolution. Retribution. That! Still, coming from you, Sayori, I guess there's a little devil inside. Foreshadowing. I guess there's a little devil inside all of us, isn't there? Don't let her fool you. Sayori knows exactly what she's doing. After all, she told you guys she was bringing me to the club even before she even told me. But you wouldn't have come if it weren't for the cupcakes, so I had to trick Natsuki into making them. Come on, give me more credit than that, Sayori. Out of nowhere, something smacks Sayori in the face and tumbles onto the desk. Pwap! Kia! Ow! What was that? Eh? A cookie! Sure enough, a giant cookie wrapped in plastic. Sayori glances around. Is this a miracle? It's because I paid my restitution. Never mind. Yeah, retribution. Actually, that one almost worked. Oh yeah, restitution would have worked. Yeah! I was just gonna give it to you, and then I heard you blab about the cupcakes. It was totally worth seeing your reaction though. Haha! Natsuki! That's so nice of you! I'm so happy! Sayori hugs the cookie. How big is this freaking cookie? Jeez, just eat it. Sayori rapidly tears open the wrapper and takes a big bite. Shh! Wait. Sorry, microphone, or headphone users, that probably. Sayori suddenly clasps her hands over her mouth. I bit my tongue! You're going through a lot over just one cookie. Natsuki takes a bite of her own cookie. Wait, so they're sharing cookies? Yours looks really good too, Natsuki. Can I try it? Jeez, oh, different cookies. Beggars can't be choosers. But yours is chocolate. Yeah, why do you think I gave you that one? Fine. Okay, so they both like chocolate. Still, I'm really happy that you shared this one with me. Sayori gets out of her seat and goes... I can read, I swear. Sayori gets out of her seat and goes behind Natsuki, then wraps her arms around her. Jeez. I get it! Cookie still in hand, Natsuki reaches up to nudge the Sayori off of her. Sayori suddenly leans down and takes a bite out of Natsuki's cookie. Hey! Did you seriously just do that? Oh wait, what's a mouthful? Mouthful, Sayori trots away to safety. Yuri and I laugh as well. Jeez, you're such a kid sometimes! Monica, can you tell Sayori? Eh? Natsuki glances around. Monica isn't in the classroom. Huh, where's Monica anyway? Good question. Have any of you heard anything about her being late today? Not me. Yeah, I haven't either. That's a bit unusual. I hope she's okay. Of course she's okay. She's probably just had something to do today. She's pretty popular after all. Eh? You don't think she has a... I wouldn't be surprised. She's probably more desirable than all of us combined. That's not true. Excuse me! Suddenly the door swings open. Sorry, I'm so super sorry. Oh, there you are. I didn't mean to be late. I hope you guys weren't worried or anything. Still doing voices and I don't know why. Monica chose the club over her boyfriend after all. You're so strong-willed. But, boyfriend? What on earth are you talking about? Monica quizzically glances at me. Never mind that. What held you up, anyway? Well, my last period... I almost said was today, but let's just... Never mind. My last period today was study hall. To be honest, I kind of lost track of time. That makes no sense, though. You would have heard the bell ring, at least. Well, I must have not have heard it, since I was practicing piano. Piano? I wasn't aware you played music as well, Monica. I don't really. I kinda just started recently. I've always wanted to learn piano. That's so cool! You should play something for us, Monica. Monica looks at me. Maybe once I get a little bit better, I will. Yay! That sounds cool. I also look forward to it. Is that so? In that case, I won't let you down, Mr. Dude. Monica smiles sweetly. I didn't mean any pressure or anything like that. Don't worry. I've been practicing a lot recently. And I'd really love the chance to share once I'm ready. I see. In that case, best of luck. Thanks. So, I didn't miss anything, did I? No, not really. I chose to leave out Sayori's mischievous escapade with a cookie, by the way. I'm sure Natsuki will end up complaining to her anyways. It looks like everyone has already settled down. Sayori somehow already finished her entire cookie. Yuri is back to her book, and Natsuki disappeared into the closet. Man, looks like no one wants to be bothered today. I slumped down into the nearest desk. Ugh. How am I supposed to occupy myself with something literature-related by myself like this? I guess I could always read some of the book Yuri gave me, but I'm feeling a little too tired to read. I could possibly fall asleep right now. I close my eyes and end up listening in on Sayori's conversation with Monica. We're probably gonna seem really lame compared to all the other clubs, though. Well, we can't give up. The festival's our chance to show everyone what literature is all about. The problem is that the idea of literature club sounds too dense and intellectual. But it's not like that at all, you know? We just need some way of showing that to everyone, something that speaks to their creative minds. That doesn't solve the problem, though. What do you mean? Even if we do come up with the most fun thing ever, no one will come in the first place if it's a literature event. So it's more important to figure out how to get people to show up in the first place, you know? And after they come, we can do the same to speak to the creative minds. What's this? Sayori is taking this seriously. It's rare to hear her deliberating like this. That's a good point. In that case, do you think food will do the trick? What kind? Well, I guess we could... Cupcakes! Good thinking. Natsuki would love to do that. You're right. Natsuki makes the best cupcakes. That works out perfectly. That's that wasn't why you suggested it? Cupcakes speak to my creative tummy. Yum yum in the gut. Cupcakes it is then. I'm hungry. Anyway, we still need to work out the details of the event itself. I find myself smiling. In the end, Sayori is still her usual self. I'm a golf. Oh, I'm a goth. I'm a goth. I'm a goth. That's like someone with a stutter trying to say goth. You're goth. But therein lies the unexpected reason I admire her. Unlike me, who has trouble finding any motivation at all, Sayori can put her mind to things and make them come to life. I suppose that's why I end up letting her get in my case about things. I can't help but wonder what it would be like to see the world through her eyes. Whoa, close up. Ooh, wah! I open my eyes to find Sayori's face filling my vision. Hi. Personal space? I nearly fall out of my chair. What the? Sorry? Wait, actually, I'm not sorry at all. It's your fault for sleeping like that. This isn't the napping club. Does our school have a napping club? You're staying up late again, aren't you? Now that you're in a club, you're gonna have less time for anime, you know. You'll need to get used to it. Don't say that out loud. I glance over my shoulder to see if Monica overheard. It's true, though. Yeah. I know. You're always looking out for me, Sayori. It's what I do best. That's a problem. What about you? You look out for me better than you look out for yourself. You're still oversleeping every day, aren't you? Not every day? That's not convincing. How many days this past week have you gotten up on time? It's a secret! I knew it. Come on! At least give me the benefit of the doubt. I can't even do that. Look, Sayori, it's written all over you. I had a joke, but it was inappropriate. Hold on, give me 5 seconds. Sayori glances around at herself. How is it written all over me? You were clearly in a rush this morning. Look, your hair is sticking out all around here. I run my fingertips down the side of Sayori's hair, trying to straighten out. Man, you really need a brush for this. My hair is really hard to get right. I mean, your hair looks fine to me, but I won't fall for that. There's more than just your hair. Look, your bow isn't straight either. Oh yeah, I didn't notice that. And then there's toothpaste stain on... Okay, I don't see a toothpaste stain. There's toothpaste stain on your collar right here. I try to wipe off the stain with my finger. But nobody ever noticed that. Of course they would. No one's going to tell you about it because they don't want to embarrass you. Fortunately, I really don't care about that. Hey, you meanie! And you don't even keep your blazer buttoned up. Seriously, Sayori, why do you think you don't have a boyfriend yet? Dang! That's super mean! Sorry, but you'll thank me later. I start to button her blazer from the bottom. Once you see how much better it looks, you'll change your mind. Okay, this is an angle. This is so funny. What is? Well, I was just thinking how weird it is to have a friend that does these kind of things. Don't say that. You'll make me feel weird about it, stupid. It's okay, though. Wait, is she in socks? Oh no, I guess those are kind of like... I mean, she's wearing socks. Shush. I'm happy we're like this. Aren't you? I guess. Hey, be careful. The button might come off. Why is this one so hard to close? I struggle to fully close the button at the bottom of her chest. Does this thing even fit you properly? Your boobs are too big. Well, just kidding. Buy a bigger shirt. It did when I bought it. If you ever buttoned it, you would have noticed sooner that it doesn't fit you anymore. What are you smiling about? It means my boobs got bigger. Don't say that out loud. Anyway, you look much better now, so... why does it feel strange to see Sayori's blazer buttoned up like that? But it's so stuffy. It's not worth it at all. Sayori hastily unbuttons her blazer once more. Phew! That's so much better. I mean, I never noticed, but I guess her blazer does look kinda tight. Should probably get a new blazer, Sayori. You've outgrown that one. Sayori puts her arms around and twirls about. So if I keep it unbuttoned, then I won't get a boyfriend, right? What kind of logic is that? And why are you saying that like it's a good thing? Because I don't want a boyfriend, spoiler alert. Am I right? Oh. If I had a boyfriend, then he wouldn't even let you do things like this. And you take care of me better than anyone else would. Anyway. Someone has a crush. So that's why I'm keeping it unbuttoned. Stop saying all these embarrassing things. Huh? I didn't say anything embarrassing. Jeez. Well, anyway, just focus on trying to wake up a little earlier. Only if you focus on going to bed earlier. Fine. It's a deal. I guess we really are better at... Oh my gosh. I guess we really are better at taking care of each other than we are taking care of... Doctor Dude? Mr. Dude. Taking care of ourselves. Yeah, I guess so, huh? So maybe you should come wake me in the morning. You're doing it again, Sayori. Aw, but I was joking that time. Man, it's impossible to tell you sometimes. Okay, everyone. Monica suddenly calls out. Why don't we share the poems we wrote now? Yay! Ow! My hand? Okay. Whew. I got too excited for sharing our poems. I smacked my... Ow! I can't believe I did that. I'm too in character. See, I gotta stop at the voices. Gosh. Mr. Dude, I can't wait to read yours. Yeah. Oh, yeah, same. I fail to sound enthusiastic. Yeah, same. I fail to sound enthusiastic, but Sayori still trots away to retrieve her poem. Should I save now? I do have to pee. No matter what, I have to pee. I'm sure everyone wanted to know that. Okay, I saved. I like triple saving. What is 6:30 p.m.? Okay, actually, I might have to end now. I wanted to go a little bit... Exit? I actually wanted to read some of these poems, but I think it's best... Not settings. I think it's best if I end now. And figure out what Sonic game that song is from. Okay, what happens if I exit? Any setting... Return to desktop? I'm on PlayStation 5. Whoa, what the... The frick is this? Log in. Side stories? The side stories are stories of friendship that are unrelated to the events of the main game. To get all 6 side stories, try writing poems for different characters and viewing their special scenes. Oh, well, I can do that later. Oh, each poem. Those two want to be understood. Wait. But those... both have Sayori. Or no, Natsuki. Files? Unable to open Monica. Is this on the PC version as well, or is this like... Okay, that's both my save files. I assume that... Excuse me. This is like the, I assume this is like the PC files. Updated development timeline, new tasks. Test cases for... What the heck is this? Meeting over time. You know who went on too many tangents again. I need to be more assertive about staying focused. The heck is this? This is a scratched disk. Do not use it to store sensitive or permanent things. If you need access to files from the encrypted file share, copy them to your disposable drive and plug it directly into the thin client. Do not copy from here. Now who the frick is Raya? Raya is working on setting up a proxy mail server so we can have a proper remote communication without having to worry about the higher-ups. Keep everything offline until then. Paula. What the heck am I looking at? Okay, this looks like all the copyright stuff of the things they used. Oh, yeah, I was gonna say don't reset. But really? Just poem words. Wait. What's the three? So Sayori's winning words. Happiness, sadness. Wait. Oh. So these are the happiness words, but I don't understand the numbers behind them. Like the 321, 321, 312. Wait. The first poem. How many times do you share poems? I don't know. Either way, I might have to come back to this later. Because I don't know. That was my son. Just ignore him. Wait, no. Did I already look at... Oh yeah, I did look at this. Mail. I don't got mail. Pictures. Do their poems change depending on... Apparently I missed a... Write a poem for Sayori. Did I Oh, so different events. Okay. I think I kind of understand. So each time I interact, depending on... I was just going with the flow. Satchely. I assume Satchely did the art. There's that giant cookie. Giant cookie. Must be the music of the game. Oh, I liked this one. Add that one, add that one. Is this the one with the da-na-na-na-na-na? I swear that's Sonic. Emerald Hill, but I gotta figure it out after this. And I assume this just takes me back to the... Okay. Sorry, I was gonna end it there, but like I got sidetracked by looking at this kind of stuff. So exit. Thank you for swinging by. I planned on going a little bit longer, but I am hungry. And hunger makes you do things. still don't fully know how to end these streams, so thanks for stopping by. And my buddy Zach, when you watch this later, say hi, so I know you watch this till the end. But if you don't, that is cool too. And I'll see you next time. Whether it's Undertale or this game, it's gonna be one of those two games, that's for sure. Bye.